Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I am going to be doing a all matte look, not just with the eyes but with the face. So little known fact about me is that I have dry skin, and now that we have hit the fall weather here in El Paso, now it's getting cold. Basically matte is the last thing I want to put on my face. So I decided to basically show you guys how I personally get away with matte makeup. So if you guys are interested, keep on watching. But before we continue, make sure you hit the subscribe button to make sure you guys are part of this community. And yeah, let's get this started. So since I am going in with a matte look, or basically with a matte everything, I'm gonna go right on ahead and use for my foundation of choice. It will be the NARS Soft Matte Complete foundation, and this is in the shade Punjab. If you have a drier if you are from dry to very dry, when you wear matte foundations like these, like when you wear a matte foundation, you easily can tell you're wearing makeup. This foundation, it makes you feel like it does feel like you are wearing makeup, but it's not bad. Like it makes your skin feel a little bit tight. Let's just go with it. It came out. I have been using this foundation, not a lot, but I do enjoy it. This does definitely live up to its name. This is a foundation that does not budge. Now, how I make this foundation work, pretty much, I have to prep my skin very well. So I already went ahead and moisturized. I used the Fenty Hydra Visor moisturizer, and I went ahead and used the Summer Fridays Jet Lag Matte. For today's primer, I am actually going to be using the glowy makeup serum from Laneige. So since I am working with this foundation, I do want to go on ahead and use products that have skincare benefits added onto it, especially because for me, since for me, I do have dry skin, and now with this weather my skin has become more and more dry. I am focusing more on products that are all about the hydration. So this definitely gives me hydration. This is probably gonna make no sense for this video. I'm gonna be using the NARS Tinted Glow Booster, and this is in the shade Calvoya. So the reason I'm gonna be using this here is because this is actually, I did try this combination the other day. Okay, so I did use this combination the other day, in which I tried the Glow Booster with the Soft Matte Complete, and I realized that it made the foundation a little bit more comfortable to wear. It still gave me the matte finish, but it was comfortable. So keep in mind, because I did add in 2 glowy products, as you guys can kind of see, and unfortunately the iPhone camera is not going to pick it up. As you guys can kind of see, my skin looks a little bit glowy. It's not too intense as if I would have gone in with, like, say, like a liquid highlighter, or if I would have gone with a very intense illuminating primer, like for example like the Becca Back like priming filter. So now, enough chit chat, I'm gonna go right on now in and use my foundation. Now the trick with this foundation here that I've learned is that you kind of want to work in sections with this one, because this will dry quickly. So I'm gonna start in from this area here and dampen Beauty Blender, and I'm gonna blend this out. It starts, so again on this side it looks glowy, but then as the foundation sets, it begins to basically go in and become the matte. It turns into the matte consistency that it is. Onto my eye look, my spot concealer and everything else. I'm gonna do my brows off camera, and then I'll be right back. Products, I actually went ahead and used the Benefit Brow Styler in the shade 4. To finish off the rest of my base, I'm gonna be going in with the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealers. So I'm going to be using the shade Ginger to spot conceal for my face, and then for under eye brightening, as well as also to brighten up the rest of my face, I'm going to be using Custard. Usually when I work with a matte foundation, I usually try to do the rest of my face with hydrating products, because this is an all matte look. We're going to keep it this way. So right now I'm going to take my Morphe M173 brush. I'm going to go on ahead and tap in the product, and I'm just going to go around ahead and conceal areas that I need to conceal. So basically under my chin, top of my lip, just because I do have a breakout here, just to make sure. I am moving on to my shade Custard, and I'm going to be taking a clean M173 brush from Morphe, and I'll be doing the same thing. Now, because this is a cream product, this product, a little bit of a warning, if you are intending on using it under the eye, you want to go around ahead and use very minimal product under there, because this will crease taking on this much. So now I'm going to take the tip of my beauty sponge, and I'm going to blend this out, going in with a matte finish for my foundation and concealer. I am not going to powder, or at least powder the areas I would normally powder, like under my eyes, forehead, nose, and chin. I'm actually going to leave that be, because afterwards, if I go in and powder, it's going to be a very hot mess. It's going to be, my face is going to be very uncomfortable during the day, and that's something I don't want to do. It's a matte look. I'm going to skip out on highlighter. So yeah. So now continuing on, for my eyes, I am actually using a product. So I'm sorry you guys that I'm using this, but for my eyes, I'm actually going to be going in with a cool tone purplish look, and the shadow palette and the palette I'm going to be using is the Pretty, Fun, and Fearless from Ciate London. This is actually Chloe Morello's collaboration. I've never used this palette, so when this was released, I never used this palette. It's been in my drawer since I first bought it back in 2017. And for the sake of this video, I'm going to use it. So before I go in with my eyeshadow, I'm actually going to go on ahead and prime. So I'm going to take the Milani, what is it, eyeshadow primer in the shade, this is in the shade Nude. I'm just going to blend this out. Now that I'm done blending out my eyeshadow, or the eyeshadow primer, I'm now going to go around in and use this palette. So I'm going to be taking a, what brush should I use this time? Okay, so I'm going to take this VH Cosmetics number 5 brush, and this is from the Rose Quartz line. And since I'm going to create a cool tone, so I'm thinking about going and creating a cool tone purple look. So I'm going to go in and start with Jet Setter here. I did swatch this last night, and I'm not going to lie, this does have some payout to it. So I'm going to use the palette again. This palette has been discontinued, but since we are now in lockdown, or since we are in the middle of the pandemic, we gotta use what we got. Next shadow I'm gonna be using will be Flirt, and then I will be using the Jaclyn Hill. So this will be the Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH33, and I'm gonna take this shadow here and just slowly pack it in here. Whoa. Okay, so now I'm taking my VH Cosmetics blending brush, and I'm gonna blend out the rest. So now I'm gonna be taking my Sigma E45 small tapered blending brush, and I'm gonna take Daydream, and I'm actually gonna try and just focus this onto the outer V of my eyes, and then so that way we can create a little bit of maybe more definition. I'm not gonna go too crazy with this color here, since we did realize that. So since I realized that Flirt literally was very pigmented, we're gonna go in with this little brush and just work it in. back and take in my BH Cosmetics brush and just blend out. For my lid, I am actually gonna go in and take Jet Setter again, the one on the crease, just so that way we can have it on a little just lightness here. So I will be going in with the same Sigma E45 brush. I'm gonna take Daydream again, and I'm just gonna go around the head and go in here, take that shadow Daydream, and then we're just gonna blend it out, just so that way at least like, just so that way it looks like it's transitioning a little bit. And then of course, to give that beautiful gradient, I'm gonna go in with Flirt. I'm gonna go like just a little bit right here, and then I'm just gonna blend it out, just so that way we have that transition. I will take the shade Be Sassy here. I'm gonna take the same shader brush, but I'm gonna use the other side. I'm gonna apply this to my brow bone. Take it up to my brow bone, just lightly, just to give that brow bone a highlight. Now moving on for mascara, I'm actually going to go in and take the Falsies Lash Lift Mascara from Maybelline. I'm already on my second tube. Same eyelash curler. We're going to go in. In with some lashes, just so that way, because right now I was debating on lashes or not, and I kind of feel like this look needs some lashes. So for lashes, I'm actually going to be using my Ardell Double Up 207 lashes. These are honestly my favorite lashes of all time. Well, they're my favorite drugstore lashes. Alright, so lashes have been put on. I'm going to try to pinch this one a little bit more, just because sometimes my right eye does not want to stick. Alright, so now that we got lashes on, I'm going to go right on ahead and continue on with the rest of my eyes. So for liner, I'm going to use the Marc Jacobs highliner in the shade Mist Me. And this is just a light, as you can see, it's a light purple shade. It's a light shade. We're gonna take it into the waterline. So for the under eye, I'm actually gonna go in with Daydream. Take the same Sigma E45 brush, go under there, and then slowly working it in your eye. To blend out, I'm actually going to take Jet Setter here. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take a little bit of Flirt on the same brush, just to blend it out. It's still going to be, and then since I realized that this shadow is very pigmented, I'm going to go in very, very lightly, just to diffuse it on the under eye, and again very, very lightly. I'm putting same mascara underneath my bottom lashes, lightly. Okay, so now that we have the eyes completed, I am now going to move on to face. So as I went ahead and previously stated, I am not going to be using powder to set I'm not going to use setting powder to set under my eyes or forehead or anything else, since this is a very matte as it is. I don't want to make it too matte, so now I'm going to go in and use a powder bronzer, and this is just to warm up the face and give some definition to it. Bronzer I'm using today is going to be Fenty Beauty Sun Stalk'r bronzer in Island Ting. And for my brush, I'm going to be using another BH Cosmetics brush, and this is going to be the BH Cosmetic 109. It's a dual fiber brush. And then I'm just going to slowly stipple this product in. I usually, for the most part, if I have to go in with powder, I rather use like powder bronzers and blushers for this, because that way I am just like in some cases I am setting my face, but I'm not setting it, I'm not going in too much with the powder, especially if you have, especially in the season with how the air is, it's like cold and dry, you know, sometimes going in with powders will make things a lot worse than it should be. So usually if I do go in with mattes or with a matte formula, we are just going to keep it. We're just gonna use powders in different forms, just so that way we can kind of set products, or we can kind of set, but we're not actually setting, if it makes sense. So now that the bronzer is now applied, I'm gonna go in with blush. And for blush, I'm actually gonna be taking MAC blush or powder blush in the shade Mocha. Brush, I'm actually gonna be taking the Marc Jacobs brush called the blush. Tapping this in, slowly tapping it off. Take my area here and just stipple this on here. I like to go in usually with blush, and I think I mentioned this in my first video, I love using angled brushes. I don't go in like this, I just tend to go sideways, that way it makes it life easier for me. Using the shade Mocha because this is a perfect like mauvey berry type of color, especially for when we get into like the autumn winter months. So yeah, this is a beautiful color. I know back in the day, I know like years ago, I would go with like these very bright pink blushers, but this right here is like a nice beautiful muted berry tone. Matches the eyes. It's not too intense. So yeah, I like to use these setting sprays mainly more so to bring back the hydration and to melt the product in, so that way it looks all cohesive. So we're gonna go in. As you guys can kind of see this, I mean, this will, oh my god, I'm gonna go in with a sponge just to make sure, because this I'm gonna use my sponge and just to tap the product in just to make sure. Personally, because I am wearing a matte formula for my base, I do like to go in throughout the day and just to bring back the moisture or the hydration into my face, I like to go in with a hydrating setting spray like this one from the Glow recipe. Another one I do like to go on, or I want to go on ahead and use like a luminous one like the Morphe Luminous setting spray. There are some drugstore alternatives. I know Milani makes a hydrating or glowy setting spray. Neutrogena, I know they make one. I feel like majority of the drugstore brands are now making settings. For lipstick today, I'm actually going to be using this lipstick from L'Oreal. You can see it looks like a mauve. I think this is like a, oh, it's a lilac color. So it's like a little of a lilac color. And then I'm going to be using my favorite lip pencil of all time, which is MAC Culture. So I'm going to go on ahead and line my lip. Alright, so now that I line my lips, I'm going to go in and go in with the lipstick. Hopefully it works out well. It's the first time I've used this. Or you know, I think it's the second time. Okay, so I guess I was wrong. This is definitely a matte formula. So I'm gonna go in. Definitely like this lipstick here. So, okay. So now now we have the completed look. Sorry you guys if I look a little bit shiny. I have a ring light and I have natural lighting on my side. But yeah, this is now my completed matte look. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, so before y'all leave, make sure you give this video, if you guys enjoyed watching this video, give this video a thumbs up. hit the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell to be reminded of all of my future uploads. And yeah, hope you guys have yourselves a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe, wear a mask, social distance, and peace.